Yes, we are back. We are back live. That's right. Tonight we are live here in the Groove Studios. We've been away, but we're back here in living color. That's right, here from the UBN Radio TV Network.com here in Hollywood, California. I'm your host, C. Mose, and I miss you all the most tonight because we are back here in the Groove Studios, man. Where have we been, man? Where have we been? But tonight we're live with another great show we have for you, coming to you from the UBNradio.com, Channel 1. Join us tonight as we're streaming live on Facebook. That's right, and also on YouTube. And don't forget to give us a call at 323-524-2599. And we're in for another legendary evening of great music and conversation. But as I say every Monday night here on We Love Rare Grooves, I can't do this without my great cast and crew back in the Groove Studio, starting off with the world famous DJ DeVoe. What you say, my man?
I'm ready to get it in.
You ready?
It's been
to
a
get
while,
it in?
yeah.
We coming back strong. Though.
Yeah, our special. I need to cut them a check. We've been rocking their music for years. So.
Oh yeah.
Let me get this checkbook out.
Man, legendary, man. 5 decades long.
Yeah.
And when you hear this beat, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. Without a doubt.
Oh, come on now. This is classic.
And then we got my man over here, the Reg man himself, DJ Reg. Video extraordinaire.
Yes, sir. How you guys doing? Happy Monday, everyone. Hey. Man, I definitely gonna have to cut that check. We're gonna put ours together because I don't have enough money, so I'm not gonna
Get those receipts.
put mine with his. Yeah, them receipts.
As Michael Hendry was telling us, make sure you get your receipts.
Yes, get your receipts, man. As we do.
Well,
Try to get these cobwebs off, man. It's the first day back. Man.
Studio's a little change here.
Yeah.
Tony. What's up, pretty Tony? Doing some work, man.
Yeah.
I see you. And you know we can't do it without our beautiful, talented, and lovely co-host, Miss Shantini Irene.
Hey.
Hey. What's going on, girl?
Nothing. I'm excited. I probably don't have to write them a check, but maybe I was conceived to one of their songs. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how I got here.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You was conceived to a lot of songs about murder. Murder, she wrote. Hey, we want to thank our listening audience all over the globe for joining in, and we want to thank our sponsors that's back with us, right?
Yes.
Beverly Boys Video Production.
Beverly
That's right.
Boys.
For all the go-to guys for all your video productions need, and also Wings Limousine, where you
Ride like a star.
And man, tonight we're going to talk about the ISBL. The African Black Latinos have a big event coming up.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we got some new music that we're going to share from one of our guests before, Lena. She got some new music out.
Lena.
But in the house, we got legendary. I mean, I'm talking about legendary 5 decades and still got the music going today.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, they were one of the most revolutionary groups in the 70s, man. They had something they had like some psychedelic funk to it.
And that look go along with it.
Right.
And the look.
And a lot of people copied that.
Absolutely.
You know? But they got very versatile. I mean, because we're going to go back in the Groove Studio and show all the versatility, man. But they came up with Norman Whitfield.
Oh, wow.
You know who that guy was. Yeah.
Man, Norman was the man. Came through Motown at first, but they all out of Detroit.
Of course. Where else would they be from?
Detroit, right?
Of course.
But so much music legendary Detroit. You know what I can say?
You're
but
learning.
I'm learning.
When the water was good.
When the water was good, it used to be excellent. I don't know what happened.
How about now?
But tonight, we got original members. It's nothing like when you got original members in the house to tell that story. Yeah. We got the original member and the lead singer. We talking about Joe Pep Harris is in the house. That's right. Then we got the other original member, lead singer, Miss BJ, Brenda Joyce Evans.
Hey! All right.
And then they brought on Miss B. McDonald, my girl. What's going on?
B, yeah. Miss B.
And then we got the Doc man, Calvin Doc Stevenson, that's right, filling out the group of Undisputed Truth, that's right.
Yes.
We want to congratulate you last night on your HAL Awards. That's like being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
You know, anytime your boy Barry Gordy come up,
That's right.
you know, where it all started at, man.
Yeah.
So we want to welcome y'all to the Grooves Studio.
Thank you, sir.
It's all
Thank
about
you.
you tonight.
Okay.
This
That's
ain't
right.
nobody's show. It's the Undisputed Truth show tonight.
Let's
Okay.
get it on.
So y'all can tell the story because it's going to be out there now.
Okay.
It's going to be in the history books. But we're going to take them on a musical journey tonight, right?
That's
Tim?
right.
Wow.
That's
A
right.
musical journey where it all started out. I mean, where it all started out. Where it started out originally. Now, you know, we got 4 of them, so we're going to have to go back and forth and around. But as Joe is the headmaster coming out in the early days, right? Started out.
That's right.
Come on, man. Tell us the background. Was your family, you came out the womb singing tenor or what? What's
Screaming
up,
and
man?
doing the splits.
Doing the splits.
Screaming and doing the splits.
Okay. So what was your early days like, man? I'm talking about coming out. You know, were you in school, a band, instruments you
Well-
picked up first?
My coming out came out in the summer of 1954.
Okay.
I was in junior high school, and I had a group. Well, I got a group in junior high school. Let me just say, go back. 1954, I went to a rock and roll show in Detroit on the Hastings. It was at
Oh, downtown.
it was at a club. It was at a theater called the Warfield. And on this show, I was with my mom and a bunch of her friends. And on the show was headlined by Lil Willie John. And I guess I slept through the movie part of it. But when the show came on, everybody was woke. So that was the first time that I'd ever been to any kind of musical event or anything public like that, period. And when this guy came on the stage after that band started, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy.
That was all she wrote.
I mean, chills. I mean, in the house. This guy was so small, but his voice was so big. He had the microphone hanging from his side, and the band was killing. I think that band ended up with Little Richard. They were the Upsetters.
Oh, okay.
And they were killing. And I knew then that's what I want to do.
That's what you wanted to do.
That's where it started.
All right, we're gonna go with you now, BJ. How it start with you? You came out of the womb just singing that high note, that high soprano note, just coming out smiling faces.
Perfect soprano.
Well, actually, I'm from Los Angeles, California.
LA girl.
Yeah. I started out with the Twilettes, which was a neighborhood girl group, my sister and our neighbor named Stephanie. We sung in talent shows. And my sister, when she's like 2 years older than myself, when she went to junior high school, they had those talent shows, and I was the lead singer, so how was I going to pull that off? They had to come get me and pretend that I was a member of John Muir Junior High School. So we won.
Pasadena.
So we won the talent shows there. And then later on, the Twilettes, when I started, like 12, 13. The Twilettes was the ones that, well, we were doing some recording, but not a lot. The Delicates is what really put me on the map. The Delicates was a girl group that I really, really respected because they were all older than myself. But we did recording for Sam Cooke, and we did like 5 and 6 songs of our own. If you look up on the internet, on
Does
YouTube,
it sound something like this?
I Want to Get Married.
Does
No.
it sound something like this? Oh, we had it. We almost made it. We about 3 seconds off. Does it sound a little bit like this?
Yes. There we go. Yeah.
When the last time you heard this?
It's been a while.
Them strings is killing.
hopefully,
What's up, boy?
hey, listen, hopefully now that they have, Senate has turned over
Yeah.
and you know, what is
The
it, what they
royalties.
call that?
The royalties. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I'll start getting paid for some of that stuff.
Like
Sound
tonight.
exchange. Sound
Really?
exchange.
Look, like
Yeah.
tonight.
Yes.
She She talking about
gonna
she want
send
her
you a bill
receipts.
right
She
now.
want her receipts right now.
No, but I'm just saying,
Right.
you know, a lot of us artists, when we were coming up, we didn't get paid,
Right.
you know,
That's
for
right.
all of the work that we
Right.
did. Unless you were in the 70s, then they started paying you. But, you know, my 60 career, I didn't get any money, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not bitter, but I just want to state that it's not fair. It's
Okay.
not fair.
Well, that's why
But-
we got it. Y'all took it
Yeah.
the legislation. I think I seen Saida Garrett. She was up there for the legislation and make
Yes.
sure it got passed.
Mary
So she-
Wilson,
Right.
Smokey,
Frida.
Dionne Warwick. It was a lot of them.
The
that
ones that
spoke
are already
out.
getting paid.
Yeah, well, you know, but they
Well,
still
look out.
wasn't.
Yeah.
But back then, you know,
Okay.
it wasn't a prejudice issue.
Yeah.
But anyway, the delegates is what put me on the map, as I stated. We were 3 girls, and we went to
got
Houston,
the
not
photo.
Houston, but in Texas. I think it was San Antonio, Texas. And Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers discovered us,
okay.
as he did the Jackson 5. And so anyway, Bobby said, you guys are good enough. Would you like to come to Detroit and open up with me at the 20 grand? So he bought our plane ticket and we went to the 20 grand. We opened up for him. And a lot of people don't realize that it wasn't Billy at that time. Billy Ray was not in the delegates. Billy came along after one of the girls had left. One of the girls had left in the middle of our performance.
Wow.
In the 20 grand. She got scared and said, I need to go home. I wasn't cut out for all this. And she left me and Michelle there. I called Billy on the phone because she was a good friend of mine. I said, Billy, Dale has left us high and dry. Can you come and fill in for her? Well, the good thing was Billy was so professional. Her ear was spectacular. She studied our routines because we had the same manager.
Okay.
So she saw
And
us
who was the
every
manager?
day.
Who was the manager?
Bobby Sanders.
Okay.
The Young Hearts were real popular out here in Los
Right.
Angeles.
Uh-huh.
Well,
We had
they
them on.
were up under, well, we were up under them.
Right. That's where we heard the name because Ron Pryor was on the show before.
And
Yeah.
James
And we had
Moore.
right.
James
Yes.
Moore and all them. Uh-huh.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that's, you know, we are connected, and Billy's group was up under the delegates.
Okay.
But we were a threesome. We practiced.
Okay.
So anyway, when I called Billy, she had to ask her mom because we were all up under age, and her mother, you know, she said, you know, go ahead, Billy, if that's what you want to do. So Billy came out to Detroit, studied for a couple of weeks, and we got on that stage, and it was as if she was there from the beginning. So that's when Motown, you know, the Berry Gordy and Smokey and everybody said sign him. And that's how we got our foot in the door with Motown.
Okay.
And then, but the Undisputed Truth hadn't been discovered yet. Joe was with the Peps. Yeah. And
Go
so,
ahead and hit it. Watch this beat. Damn. So that's when you start with the Fabulous Pips, but even before the Pips,
it was, yeah.
Peps. I
Not
mean
to be
Peps.
confused with
I
the
mean Peps.
Peps.
Get me right, baby. Get me right. 'Cause
I
you
was
know
with the
I'm-
Moroccos.
Right,
Right.
Those were my Frankie Lyman days.
right. You was with Little Joe and the Moroccos. Trouble in the Candy Shop, baby. When the last time you heard that?
I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
Oh, so you still listening
Oh,
to it?
yes.
Huh?
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. We got to take them back.
You remember this? Are you claiming this one?
Oh, of course.
You claiming it?
I'm claiming it. Yeah. Can't erase it.
Hear your voice too. Yeah, that's him. I can hear his voice. His voice is so distinctive.
All
you can
sung
hear
them
it.
high tenors. Yeah. Paul said it.
And it's just interesting where we're going to listen to this and then we're going to go into Undisputed Truth and then music after that just to
Okay.
see how the career came about.
Now, what about the rest of
V?
What about V? Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember any of this.
Well, we got something.
You don't
Don't worry.
remember
We
where
got.
it started?
Well,
Where
my
you-
influence came from my uncle.
But I mean, where you from originally? I know-
Detroit, Michigan. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan.
My fault.
Duh.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be trying to tell him he don't know
Where
nothing.
else? This is Detroit.
Where
man.
else
It's
are
a
you
big
going?
day.
Right.
So, Talent shows for Northern High,
Right.
you know, and
Oh, you was on North End.
North End,
All right.
Rosedale.
That's right.
That's right. But you,
My grandmother came up on the North
home
End.
girl.
Sherrod,
Y'all
Junior
know-
High
y'all
School,
may know her
Northern
mama.
High
Tell
School.
them your mama.
What's your
Gwen
mother's name?
Owens.
What's your mama?
Gwen
I know
Owens.
Gwen very well.
That's my
Are you
mom.
kidding?
We
Phenomenal
worked together
singer.
many
Yes.
Phenomenal. They all
She
know
is.
her. We all know
Yeah.
her. Yes.
I always
Oh,
say
wow.
I always say to Gwen, "Does your mama know about me?"
Yeah, no, but that's my mom.
I'm sure
Yeah.
she does.
So my influence is actually, I mean, you know, music was in my house. So my uncle is P. Moore of the Miracles.
Oh,
Bless his
okay.
heart. He passed away just recently, and so that's where my musical influence came from. And I met Norman Whitfield when I was 16, and he heard me. So I didn't know anything about this at all, you know. And when I got 17 and a half, 18, me and Doc, Little Ty, and Big Ty, we drove all the way to California,
45 hours.
not knowing what was going to happen. We didn't know anything about what was going on with the truth or whatever, and we decided to just pack up our bags and go. And so when we got out there, we was singing for Norman, and he said, "Hey, I got a spot for you. We're going to do the Undisputed Truth." And then we started recording, and then that was the big time for me because I had done a lot of stuff like in Detroit that was well known.
But didn't
in
you do something in Detroit? Now tell me if we right. The Magic.
Magic Tones?
Go ahead. Here, watch this right here.
Well,
That's both of y'all.
No, I
Both
was
y'all.
gonna leave it up to him because he was in the Magic Tones and I was just an addition.
Okay,
to the
all
Magic
right. So
Tones.
right,
Yeah.
all right. So
I was just an
I went
addition.
too quick.
Yeah, I was just an
I went too
addition to
quick.
the Magic
But
Tones. So I was gonna give
the
him his
last time you
props,
heard
you know.
it?
We shall overcome. Yeah. So I mean, and that's when I met.
Overcome.
I met them before
Okay.
I got with Undisputed Truth.
Hey,
Is
that
that
didn't never
you?
come out.
That never came out.
I heard it.
That's
though.
why-
This is- yeah,
that's
That's
why
why
they-
we playing it.
That's why we
playing
love Red Grooves, baby.
Yeah,
We
look
gonna
at
find
he
it.
having a
This is
flashback.
this is Paul singing lead, right? Yes.
Paul. T.J.
Okay.
Now, did you guys know each other before you came to LA?
Yes.
Yeah, we were in the same record company.
They
So
did
y'all-
what I did.
Oh, you
Me and
didn't
Joe.
know them. Oh, okay. So, okay.
I'm too
Joe and I,
young.
we
was
were-
too young.
Oh,
She like you hanging with us.
I was too young. I was too
wasn't
young
her
to
mom
know.
I mean,
over there?
goodness gracious.
Wasn't her mom over there at D-Town at one time? Who? Her mom.
Gwen, which house? She was with Mr.
She was the
Wingate.
correct.
Wingate, Ed
She was with
Wingate.
Ed Wingate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my Ed
Yeah.
Wingate. Yeah, and my
Shut
dad.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was with Ed Wingate.
I
And then
was
she was
with
with
Ed
Motown
Wingate.
with
Golden
Mickey Stevenson
World.
for a little bit.
Right.
Golden World, that's
right.
right.
Golden Sound.
But that's
right.
Ed Wingate.
Golden Sound.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking
Mr.
about
Wingate.
before that.
Oh, yeah, she was
Before
with
that.
Yeah, but you
Oh,
were-
yeah,
Correct
before
tone.
that, she was old D-Town.
Velgo. She was with, that was when she was in high school, when she was at Persian High. And they did a lot of
yeah.
recording, which is on the east side, Coney Gardens. Little east.
What is the
Hey,
name of
I-
that group
I'm
that
just-
they had together? What was the name of the group that had the big song? That one big song. What's that big song?
She
they
had
Hot. You
Wanted
talking about
Me.
when
Oh,
she was
Hot.
hot.
Yes.
Angel in Your Arms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've known him for years. I've known Gwen for years, but I basically got my start in Michigan doing clubs at 20 grand when I was a teenager. You know,
Sneaking in there.
my father actually had to walk me in, you know, because he was very close with Mr. Wingate,
Right.
and so I had a lot of protection, if you know what I'm saying. So, but I was underage, you know, and I worked with. Oh yeah, I was
Girl was
underage, and I worked
hot.
with. I was quite young, but I worked with McKinley Jackson, the politicians.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When I was 15 at the Ben's High Chaparral in Detroit, Michigan.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I started out kind of young. I started singing in clubs when I was about 13, but my mother would go with me.
But you guys had protection back then. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
like
yeah. My
today.
mother
Right.
would go with me.
Yeah.
You know, and so I mean, it was just phenomenal. Then I met
protection.
him when I was 17 and a half.
Oh,
the
okay.
Magic Tones, and they were looking for a lead singer. They I don't think they really wanted a female, but you know,
You
they
came in
couldn't-
like
they
the
couldn't-
platter.
Yeah,
so
they
she
couldn't
came
turn
in
me
like-
down. Like, okay, we can't
So-
turn her down. And then we started traveling. Then you know, we
So-
started doing little bitty gigs.
There you go. So we're gonna segue into you, Doc.
Well, I started singing in the church.
Which church in Detroit?
True
Out
Vine.
in Inkster.
True Vine.
Spring Hill Baptist Church and
Oh, okay.
Third
You say True Vine?
Baptist.
You're so stupid.
Baptist Church, we were singing hymns and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
of course.
So that's when I realized that I could sing.
I used to get a number.
So I went to Inkster High,
Inkster.
same school the Marvelettes
Okay. Yeah.
came out of, and we formed the Magic Tones when I was 15. That was a lot of years ago. when I was 15, and we had the original group, so we used to go down to the Greystone, where they had the battle of the groups,
Oh, okay.
and we won. Yep, we won twice down there.
Is that right, Joe?
So
Is that right? They won.
He don't know. He like,
I wasn't in that.
You didn't compete
wasn't
against
in
him on the okay.
My competition days ended in
They already made
1955.
it.
After 55, I was thrust in the middle of David Ruffin and Tony Clark, and Betty LaVette was having her first record.
Okay.
I come right out of school with Mary Wilson.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I miss those things, except for my younger days.
Okay.
So how did you two meet, Doc and Joe? How did you guys?
D-Town.
We were
No,
at-
I know, but I mean like school.
No.
Did you run into
No,
each
no,
other
no.
When I
neighborhood?
got when I got out of high school, my cousin, who was singing then, took me to a club, and after we did the little thing at the club, that next week he took me to a record company where Mike Hanks was the owner, and it was called D-Town. Doc was one of the artists over there.
Oh, so he
at
was already
D-Town.
there.
Magic
Yeah,
Jones.
yeah.
Segue
Yeah,
into
so-
Magic
He
Jones.
said Magic Joe.
So what happened after we won and everything? I met Willie Garrett, and he was the guy that co-wrote Mr. Postman.
Oh, okay.
Please, Mr. Postman. So that's when I started after the groups at the Greystone, and the fellas I had didn't want to go further. They wanted to stay in Inkster and sing under the street lights and drink wine. And so I say, nope, I'm out of here. That's when I went to Detroit and put together Paul Willis and Tyrone Barkley, and then eventually Tyrone Douglas. And then we did some more recording because we had cut 4 things before I went to D-Town. Can You Erase My Old Love's Face and a few other things. So when we got there, we got to get a little closer in the pig pen. Remember the pig pen?
Y'all got the stories now. The pig pen.
Yeah, the pig pen. That's what we cut.
That's what y'all cut in the pig pen, huh?
Yeah, that's what we call it. It was on a regular street right behind the Olympic Field.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that area over there. So it was the pig.
It's the
McGraw.
pig pen.
On McGraw.
McGraw.
Yeah. So we got to get a little closer over there with little Charlie Postel and Paul, who was still living, and one of the original members, Albert Singletary. And then Albert quit. And then from Albert, we got Tyrone Barkley.
Okay.
That's when I got. He was singing with the Minstrels,
Man.
and they wasn't doing anything. So I said, "Hey man, why don't you come on and get with us?" And that's when we started
So
recording.
now you see how I be trying to tell him about the water in Detroit. There's something in the water because so much talent
Yeah.
came out.
No, I will
He's
say
been
that.
learning here.
No, I mean,
He's been
I
here.
have learned in the last 4 years of us being together, but don't sleep Pittsburgh. 'Cause we can write. Don't worry, we
Ain't
gonna
a
get
thing
our
coming
day.
out of there.
No, but it was somebody. Y'all know the name for a scat guy, Eddie Jefferson.
Oh yeah, we know that. Joe.
Right, I heard he was the baddest scat man, and someone told me that.
He was.
And you know
He was
where
from the Hill.
He was from the Hill with George Benson from the Hill. But I digress because it's all about Detroit and Undisputed tonight. We won't get on that. But before we go into, we almost ready. We ready for it? You almost ready for us?
Almost.
Almost. All right. So we got one more song on, and help me out here, Joe. Is this part of the Untouchables? Am my history right here?
With the music?
Yeah,
Or
the music. Yeah, the music group. It was kind of the Untouchable a little bit.
The Ohio
Play-
Untouchables.
The Ohio
The
Untouchables.
Ohio
That-
Untouchables. I was a member of the Ohio Untouchables.
Oh my goodness, Joe.
Let's see if he'll claim
They
this
used to
one
come to
too.
the Redwood.
On top now and playing the game.
Is that you on the lead?
No, that's the wrong Untouchables.
That's the wrong one. Okay, but it's 3 of
They
them.
got those
don't
names up there,
remember
that picture of that early picture, but that's not the.
That wasn't the one. All right, but we close. We
It's
got
some white
another one.
boys that.
Right,
use
they
that
got
name.
2 of them. I had to go all
Okay.
into it. So we got
That
the
look
other
like
one.
us right there.
No, that's you guys right there.
Uh-huh.
He'll pull it back up.
Okay.
But so that now was that a precursor before the Ohio Players?
Oh yeah. I after I left the Peps,
Uh-huh.
well, the Peps and the Ohio Untouchables, we were doing a lot of dates together.
Okay.
We were stablemates at Thelma Records, and Don Davis was writing and produced. Don Davis and Richard Street were writing and producing us, and they produced with Willie Schofield. Don Davis and Willie Schofield produced "I Found a Love" on Wilson Pickett and the Falcons, and the Untouchables were the band on the record. So they became very popular just being on a hit record.
Okay.
And they began playing behind Bobby Bland. You know, he would take scat dates and he would pick up this 5-piece band with 2 horns, and that was just as powerful as that band that he was carrying, but for less money. So he was not missing. James Brown worked with the Ohio Untouchables.
Okay.
The OJs. Well, the OJs started working with them after we were the Players.
Okay.
When I left, the Players were going all over the country with the OJs a lot. The OJs and a couple of other acts. I was with the Ohio Untouchables the night that they broke up.
Oh, real good. Dude, let us hear that. Come on, man. Come on. Give us a short version of it. You can do that, man. Come on now. This is what we do here.
Well, those guys were, those guys, when I first got with them, they were such a family-oriented group because they legislated themselves like, we got rules, we pay fines, but they were real good friends and they got drunk together. See, so all that shit went straight out the window. It didn't mean nothing, and I was a youngster then, and this one particular date, we had played the club up until 3 in the morning, and at 4:30 we opened at another place called Lakeside, and they call those dawn dances. So we would play Lakeside from 4 to 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and that was it. After we left this club that night, most of the guys in the band was drunk. They were drunk. And when we got to the other club, they were already had a set up there, so we went right in there to play. And the people would come from everywhere out of Dayton, Ohio at that time, and that club would fill, that dawn dance, people be sitting in the lot before we would even get in there, and then the doors were open, people were coming in. And this particular night, Satch, the saxophone player, he got pissy drunk. And Robert Ward, who was Robert Ward was a band leader. He was the first band leader that I ever known and knew what a band leader was when I watched him. And they were playing these songs and they were going back to back to back, and Satch was reeling and rocking and reeling and rocking. And Robert said, we're gonna play till the break. First one don't play when the break come, you're not gonna get paid tonight. So they played and played, and Satch was, and at this particular time, Satch was blowing a solo on something they was playing, and he keep breaking his head. I got to throw up. We played. And he kept playing and playing. He put in that saxophone. He said, "Play." He said, "I got to throw up." He said, "You don't play, you won't get paid." He was playing, and puke was coming all out as he was blowing that saxophone. And then he took his saxophone off and ran off the stage. When they got into Robert finished the song and Satch didn't come out, but when they went down and they took a break, when they went down and all of them went in the bathroom, we took them all in the bathroom, and something was said up in there. I didn't go in there. I didn't go in there. They were all, they grew up together. They were much older than I was, so I didn't go in there. I sat, out there. But when they came out there was a lot of pulling, a lot of pulling and tugging. And then we did a couple of dates that before that weekend was over. That was Friday night. That Sunday night, Saturday night at the same particular weekend, we were supposed to leave Saturday night after the dawn dance to go to Flint, Michigan, to play on a gig with Gene Chandler. And that afternoon before we was pulling out, the guys in the band told Robert Ward, we're not going. Said, y'all, you Robert Ward, we the Untouchables. So you can take Robert Ward, we'll be the Untouchables, and we're going to stay here in this club and make this $120 for the weekend. Robert Ward said, well, I got my name on this contract. How we going to do that? And they was setting him up so that they knew that whatever they did, they was gonna make the same money that they made at that club. And so they said, well, we want $250 to go to Flint. Mm-hmm. So and I'm just sitting there in the meeting with them, and Robert said, okay, $250, and they jumped up and got their stuff together and packed their stuff. They were packed, and when we got to Flint. After the gig, now $250 at that time for a person to make in a night was exceptional, especially a musician.
Really?
But the gig was paying $2,500.
Okay. Alrighty then.
How about those receipts?
Yeah. See, so they cut off their nose right then to spite their face, and when they found out the next day, that the gig paid $2,500, they all wanted more money. Rob said, bye. That was the end of that. And they didn't, as friends, you would think that they would get it over it and go back. It didn't happen like that. Yeah. So now I'm in Dayton, Ohio. I'm from Detroit. Mm-hmm. I'm in Dayton, Ohio, and I'm like, well, wow, what's going to happen? So people were hiring Robert and his brother, just two pieces. Uh-huh. So I was like, well, shoot, I ain't got no band. What I'm going to do? Robert said, you want to work? I said, yeah. He said, well, you going on? So I went on. And we worked like that until eventually he put some more guys together and had a 5-piece band. Mm-hmm. But maybe 4 or 5 months later, Satch called me and said, look, man, we got a chance at a production deal with this production company out of Cincinnati, but we need a lead singer. So, yeah, I took some dates with them, and we worked and put the show together.
Was that King Records in Cincinnati?
No.
It was another one?
It was a production company, Concept Productions.
Concept, okay.
Yeah. And they wanted to, so I worked with them for about 3 months, and then they took this contract from Concept Productions, who wanted us to go to New York and cut an album, and promised us $100,000 in dates for the year. We promise you for the next year, if you sign this contract, we're going to give you $100,000 in dates. You're going to work, and we're going to put a record out. I didn't sign that contract. So at that point in time, the guy that was leading that, it was acting as the band leader, he had a little thing because he was pushing unity. But I wasn't gonna get in stupidity. I mean, and I say that today because that was my attitude then.
Right.
$100,000, and I kept telling those guys, $100,000. I said, 7 of us.
Right,
and we're gonna work forever. We were working weeks. So the first date we got was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We worked a weekend in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and it paid us 7 men in the group for 3 nights, $1,000, and they paid the hotel bill. And the door to the hotels, you can just tap on it, and they fling wide open. So they saw a little bit about what I was talking about, and so that was my transition from the Ohio Untouchables. And then I went out with the Ohio Players. I stayed with them for a little over a year.
Okay.
And it just got a little bit too stupid, at first. And then when I left, I told those guys, I said, y'all brought the best band in the land, but you can't go anywhere if you don't have a leader. Right. And they were letting this guy be the leader, because didn't nobody else want to do nothing. And
thank
8 months, eight months after that, I had the #1 record in the world.
All right.
But I was crushed. They fired me.
Man, this is how you do it here on We Love Red Grooves. Where are we at? We ready to go? If not, then go ahead, take us into a musical journey. Then we're gonna do a little change up, but we'll be good. Our listening audience, give us a call, 323-524-2599, streaming live on ubnradio.com channel 1. Facebook Live with Undisputed Truth in the house tonight. We're getting all the true stories right now here on We Love Rare Grooves. DJ DeVoe, what you got for me, baby?
Like a bolt of lightning, love struck me down. You really upset my soul. I fell in love with you the first time I saw you. I've been trying to let you know, but I can see you're in love with somebody else. So take my love and put it on the shelf. And when you find that his love won't do, try mine, see what it does for you. I've got plenty of time, so keep me in mind. All I'm asking you to do is find a place in your heart and save it for a rainy day. I know you think that he's something special. Believe me, woman, I know better. You're putting your heart in danger, my dear. 'Cause this kind of love changes like the weather. He'll always be around when things look sunny. When times get stormy, he'll stay away. Girl, my love will always be true. Through the good and the bad times too. I've got plenty of time, so keep me in mind. All I'm asking you to do is find a place in your heart and save it for a rainy day. Find a place in your heart and save it for a rainy day. I need you, baby. Good things come to those who wait. That's something that I found. Oh yeah. That's why I'm waiting for that rainy day, baby. 'Cause I know he won't be around. Then I'll take you in my arms and make you. Oh yes, I will now. That you ever cared about him at all. Girl, my love will make you see what the Born into this world, oh baby, your mind is clear as the air.
Time passes.
You learn to walk and talk.
Time passes.
You learn right from wrong.
Time passes.
You leave home seeking a life of your own. Hey, I'm telling you the natural facts for what it's worth. You make your own heaven and hell right here on earth.
Listen to me. That's time passes. Hey, and your values change. That's life becomes a strange, confusing game. That's suddenly you want the finer things in life.
But you find it takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice.
There ain't no such thing as something for nothing. Can you get it? Oh, now you're standing at the crossroads of life.
To satisfy your personal wants, will you do wrong or will you do right?
Will you do right? One thing you must admit, and you know it's true. True.
The final decision is up to you.
The final decision is up to you. Yeah.
You make me.
Ah, yeah.
Heaven and hell right here. I got to see who wrote that back there, man. You
Way
make
ahead of their
your
time.
own
Way ahead of their
heaven,
time.
hell, and
Norman
right
Whitfield and Barrett Strong.
here. Okay. All right.
Of course, Norman
You want to keep
Whitfield.
pouring this wine?
Yeah, that's right. You keep feeling the wine. That's what bring back memory lane, baby. The wine make you go back for fine wine. Feels so fine.
So I think we have a caller on the phone. So caller, are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Well, why don't you tell the people who you are?
Oh, this is Gwen Owens.
Hey, Gwen.
Mama.
Hey, how you doing?
Murder X. X murder.
Yeah.
What's up, X
Oh,
murder?
stop.
How you doing, Miss Owens?
How you doing? Joe Pep, what's
Yes,
going
baby.
on?
You, how you been?
I've been good. I didn't know you were still living in Detroit. I
Well,
thought you were out here in California.
I've been back 5 years now. I had to go back and fight with him.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't let him ruin the
So
legacy.
how's
that
everybody
he put-
else
Everybody's
in the
great.
group? How's
Hey,
things
we're
going?
fine.
Hi, Gwen. This
You
is
see,
Gwen.
you see Doc over there from the Magic Tones?
Remember Tyrone Barker?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah,
Wait a
we
minute.
haven't
Who
talked in years.
just
That's Cal.
Doc.
Doc from the Magic Tones.
Magic Tone.
Don't get him
Wait a
mixed
minute.
up with
Doc
murder.
from the Magic Tones is there?
Yes,
Yeah.
sitting right
in
here.
the flesh.
Sitting
next
right
to
here
us.
with the white suit on.
You must be kidding.
Hey, Silver.
How you doing? Oh my goodness, this is too much. This is
Yeah, it is.
This is how
I
we get
wondered
him.
what happened with everybody. Now I know you guys are still happening.
Yep.
They were honored at the Hall Awards last night.
Oh,
we missed.
wow. I haven't been in a couple of years. I missed the Hall Awards.
Don't worry, I had your ticket.
He did, literally.
Yeah, so I heard.
That's why we wasn't invited. Huh? Is that why we wasn't invited?
You should have hooked me up. You should
I
talk
know,
to
I
me.
know.
You know how to hook you up, yeah.
Oh, really?
So who else is there?
That's
who
right.
else is there in the group?
Don't
All
Brenda.
four.
I love you,
don't
buddy.
hate, man.
And
Don't
VJ.
hate.
Hi,
Brenda-
Gwen. This
Butt
is V.
changes his thing.
Wait a minute. V?
Yo.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you want? Hold on.
Are we
Excuse
talking
me.
about V?
She
Are we
not
talking about V?
Yeah, V McDonald. You know Ty's ex-wife, V McDonald. You know that V McDonald
Wait a
from
minute.
Detroit?
Stop.
Well, yes.
Wait a
Singing the
minute.
magic tune.
Wait a minute.
Yes, darling.
You guys should have told me. You guys should have told me you were gonna be there. I
did
would have
tell
come
you.
down.
I told
Shut
you.
the
Oh
front
my
door.
goodness.
Shut the front
It's
door.
good.
You'd have been
I'm
down here.
I'm
Gwen,
good,
huh?
baby.
You'd have
It's
been
good to
down
hear
here,
your
huh?
voice. It's
You'd have
really
been
good to
down
hear
You're
your
too
voice.
girl, dude. Every time I think about you, I think about the time you sang happy birthday at my cousin's house for somebody's birthday.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I think I was drunk.
Yeah.
She said
That was a long time ago.
It really
wow.
was. It really was.
All right.
I heard your ex-husband passed.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and he was in the memorial last night. Ty Douglas. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
He passed in
Yeah.
February.
All right, Gwen, you taking
Wow.
up people's time, Gwen.
Okay, who is that?
Well, I'm gonna hit you up on Facebook, sweetheart.
Yeah,
We
you're taking
wait.
up our time. We just want you to call
you
and
need
say
to come
hi.
on the show yourself. I got all these hot albums, so you need to come on down and stop messing around, and then you can talk all day long. Right?
I'm planning on coming. If I wasn't on camera, I'd been there a long time ago.
You know
I'm
what? You
trying
need to
to
cut
wait.
that out. You need to cut that out.
Trying to get my teeth fixed.
You know what? I ain't fooling with you today.
We're not talking to you anymore.
Right. Thank you so much. We love
Bye,
you too.
Mom.
Bye, Gwen.
Get your teeth fixed.
Bye.
Mama.
I love you guys.
Love you
It's
more.
Good to hear from you.
Take care, Mom.
See Murder's ex-girlfriend later.
Goodbye, Clifton.
Don't forget Ty.
As we continue here on We Love Red Grooves, what's going on, Pretty Tony? Everything all right over there? We got another caller. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and keep the show going.
You ready for the
Hey,
video?
yeah, go ahead and give me some Beverly Boys video production. Then we're going to come back and talk about those songs, man. Give me Beverly Boys video production. The
Beverly
go-to
Boys.
guys for all your video production needs.
My name's Dave Patterson. I'm a Seattle area videographer. I've been working with Beverly Boy Productions for over 2 years, and I can say they are great to work with. They've always provided me with the information I need so that when I show up on set, I can shoot exactly what's necessary to tell the story the client is trying to tell. Call sheets that include the who, what, why, where, when of the video shoot, production notes, gear requirements, crew requirements, load-in time, all that. Makes my job a lot easier, and ultimately it produces the results that the client's going to be happy with. This is what a professional company like Beverly Boy Productions does, and also it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy working with them. It's a bit of a family vibe. They're very low-key, low pressure, but they're very professional at the same time, and they get the results, and that's ultimately what matters most. I'm proud to be a shooter for Beverly Boy Productions, and if you're looking for a company to produce your next video production, by all means, give them a call. They can handle any sort of scale project, from a single-person interview to a large production with multiple cameras and large crews. You won't be disappointed with the results. Give them a call.
Beverly Boys Video Production for all your video production needs. 1-800-385-1243. That's 1-800-385-1243. They're from L.A., Miami, New York, London, and back to L.A. Give Kel a call. Give them a call.
Give them a call.
That's right. They just did the Gardena Jazz Festival.
Oh, they
all
did?
the video, yeah.
All right.
That's right, because they heard it on We Love Red Grooves, and they called them up. That's how it works.
Wonderful.
Believe me all the time. Hey, call them up, and they may give you 10% off. You say We Love Red Grooves.
Hey.
I said they may.
May?
May.
You got to work out your deal, man.
Hey, man, but we in here with the legendary Hal Award winners. That's right. The Hal Award winners, Undisputed Truth in the house. That's right. With Joe Pep. BJ, my girl. BJ, it's like we old friends, ain't it? We don't even know
All
each
the
other.
time. I'm just a quiet spirit, as I say.
No, I'm saying we old friends. V and Doc. So we in the
Yes.
house with Undisputed Truth. We just came out with your first. We played the first song, right? That you said you released. What was that? Save My Love.
Save my love for a rainy day.
So that was the Undisputed first.
First.
So how did that come about?
Well, when we were talking, having a conversation with Norman, and one of the things that I was questioning at that time was about something that I heard from a lot of the artists at Motown, and there was other producers producing songs on artists that never get released, but the artists have to pay for them. So you get hit records, you paying for stuff that you don't use. So Norman was saying that, okay, listen, I got a few things that I want to do, and if you got a couple of things that let me know what you're talking about, what you want to do. I had no idea about what I wanted to do. You know, here's the #1 writer and producer in the world asking me what I want to do. I didn't have a clue. I was trying to figure out how I'm going to stay with you. You know, what you want me to do? So he said, so what we're going to do is we're going to experiment with some things, but we're going to experiment with some things trying to get hits. You know, so that we won't just be making music and putting it into the can, and that old rumor that we were experimenting a team for the Temptations was moot. The Temptations was almost about to break up at that time. You know, so Norman was thinking about making his move, and he had these girls, and when he came and got me, you know, he said, I know you never sang with girls before. He said, but think about it. You know, I think that I can get a hit on you guys, and that you're gonna like singing with these ladies. I was like, okay. So from the beginning, we had no concept. So when we started talking about concepts, we talked about the Fifth Dimension, Sly Stone.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
So
he asked us who do we like, and I liked Sly. yes. You know,
saying that BJ a little bit like
she's very convinced.
Really, I mean, you know,
like some Sly,
to me,
huh?
shoot, he was. I would have married him. If
That's what I was talking about. That's the type of I'm talking about. Like, I like some Sly.
So who came up with the name Undisputed Truth?
Clay McMurray.
Yes.
Clay McMurray wrote "If I Were Your Woman."
Okay.
He and Norman were the running buddies, and he was good at that kind of stuff, you know, coming up with concepts and names, because we had quite a few of them that we were trying to pick from, and that was one that kind of cross-faded that concepts, the Fifth Dimension and Sly Stone, real music and real funk, so that we were classy, so that was the thing. And with that, Save My Love for a Rainy Day, when Norman presented that to me, he said, I got this song that was trying to get Marvin to come back to do, you know, and Marvin had told him his head was somewhere else. So Norman said, I got this track. Let me know if you like the track. And he kind of sang some of the songs to me, but he wanted to know if the key in that track. So at that particular time, I was taking any key he gave me.
All
right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So and so when he played it, I was like, okay, I liked it, you know, and that's simple. In every album project, we never knew or had a plan about what the music was going to be, because Norman would try something one day and do a completely different thing the next day, or we'd do a couple of verses one day and the next day it's a different song. You know, so we were fortunate enough, especially with Brenda and I coming through Motown, that we didn't get out. We had one other producer with something with Nick and Dino.
Oh, Dino, yeah.
Right.
But you know what? Tell the truth. Norman didn't
Right.
Norman didn't want anybody else to produce us, because Stevie Wonder asked could he produce us, and Norman said no. So tell the truth. This is what we're here
Undisputed
for.
Truth.
The truth, the whole truth, and the undisputed truth.
Yeah.
And
that's
How
the
was
truth.
it for you, Miss BJ? How was it for you with all of them being from the same place and knowing each other, and you being an LA native and coming together? Was there any adjustments you had to do?
No, because I love everybody. And I loved the fact that coming from LA, by being such a diverse community, seeing all my black people, I was in love with Detroit. You know what I mean? Because I went to school with maybe 3 of us. So as soon as I saw
You say, hey, that's
He's
a-
black. He's cute. You see, no, I'm being truthful. I loved Detroit because I saw my people.
right.
Louis,
You know,
Louis.
yeah,
Yep, that's our town.
yeah.
And then you came in. You had what else? We played the single "You Me." Now talk about that. That was from we were talking about the
You Plus
12
Me.
inch.
Yeah, the 12-inch.
The 12 inch.
You Plus
Yeah.
Me. Wow, I'm gonna say that it was written for Taka. Norman, that was the beginning of so-called disco. Norman, and Norman he was challenged at anything that changed. He challenged himself because he was trying to be an entrepreneur as a record entrepreneur, as a record company. So we had a disco era coming in, and Norman had an opportunity to use Shaka's sister or Gwen Dickey with Undisputed Truth. He chose to use Shaka's sister because of Shaka, and to a certain degree. Just thinking about it, it didn't have anything to do with her talent,
Right.
but just because Gwen Dickey had not had any, didn't know that when Gwen Dickey first came, and after I got her to come to California to be with the Undisputed Truth, after she was in California for about 2-3 weeks and working on car wash, we had lunch one morning, and she was like, what is this? What's going on? I know this for a movie, but what is this? I come up here to California to sing with the Undisputed Truth, and I'm in here singing about a damn car wash.
With Rolls Royce.
Wasn't no name then.
Oh, okay.
Right.
There wasn't no name then, and I was like, I say, baby, this is a production team, and and this is going to give you an opportunity to get your legs and your feet wet, strengthen your legs so that you can understand being in the studio with this great producer and writer, and he's going to get an opportunity to know you better, So she rolled with it, and the rest of that is history. We worked together maybe 6 years ago in London. I was over there, and she reminded me of that.
Wow,
She said,
okay.
I'm sorry. I never knew that this would end up being what this is today, And she remembered that conversation that we had because she was playing. When I was going back and forth to Detroit when she came to L.A., so they were already in there in the studio. Norman had many tracks, but once he got Gwen, he turned his whole attention
Focus,
to and
Sure
started
did.
working things, changing things differently.
Okay.
So she was busy, and we didn't see each other that much, and then we got Taka. Taka brought Taka.
Okay.
And Clay
I'm
McMurray.
bringing everybody. He just putting these groups together.
So
Tucker was after me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was first,
I
but
was first.
Okay.
after she
Tucker took
left,
my place.
Okay.
then Clay McMurray introduced me to Taka,
All right.
Okay.
and I brought her to the
B
group.
split the group, huh?
Yeah.
So-
I got things.
So we're gonna go
Yeah.
we're gonna take our listening audience down to a video musical journey at Undisputed Truth, and then we're gonna really get inside of, what I want to get into. Y'all see they want to smoke no weed, but something had to come with these costumes and outfits. So we're gonna show 'em right now. We
No,
gonna show 'em.
nothing.
I know. That's just me. That's just me.
You was high when you were watching it.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
true.
was
That's
having a
true. That's true.
psychedelic
That's true.
experience.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like always.
Yeah.
So give us a call here on 323-524-2599, streaming live on ubnradio.com, channel 1. Also on Facebook Live. Come on, talk to me. What you say, our audience here on We Love Red Grooves. Take me away, Undisputed Truth. DJ Reg, what you got, baby? Check it out.
Smiling faces show no traces of the evil that lurks within. Can you dig it? Smiling faces sometimes. Hey, don't tell the truth. Wow. Smiling faces faces tell lies, and I got proof. Hey,
Truth is in the eyes, 'cause the eyes don't lie.
amen. Remember, a smile is just a frown turned upside down, my friend. So hear me when I'm saying, smiling faces, well, smiling faces, said sometimes, hey, don't tell the truth. No, no. Smiling faces tell lies, and I got proof. Beware.
Beware of the handshake that hides a snake.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? I'm telling you, beware. Beware of the pat on the back. It just might hold you back. Jealousy, jealousy, misery, misery, envy. I'm telling you, can't see behind smiling faces. Smiling faces said sometimes. Providing and raising her babies. Spends her evening sitting in a rocking chair. Said she never had much or nothing, but was always willing to share. Talking about the lady that raised me. Said I've always loved that lady. Said she never had a sick day in her life. She was stronger than any two-good man. You better believe it, oh yes she was.
But look here, when Papa died, Mama put her love on the shelf. Lord have mercy, she spoke me down on the good look. She couldn't love nobody else. She made sure that we were in church every Sunday. Lord, Mama would have been it that way. That's what she'd always say.
sometimes pretend to be your friend. Smiling faces show no traces of the evil that lurks within. Smiling faces sometimes don't tell the truth. Smiling faces tell lies, and I got proof. Oh Lord, yeah.
Let me tell ya, the truth is in the eyes, 'cause the eyes don't lie. Amen.
Remember, a smile is just a frown turned upside down, my friend. So hear me when I'm saying, smiling faces sometimes, hey, don't tell the truth. Smiling faces tell lies, and I got proof.
Beware of the handshake that hides a snake.
I'm a telling, beware of pat on the back. It just might hold you back. Jealousy, misery, envy. I tell you, you can't see behind smiling faces sometimes. Hey, don't tell the truth. Smiling faces tell lies, and I got
Your enemy won't do you no harm.
right wrong.
'Cause you know where he's coming from.
Don't let the handshake and the smile fool ya. Take my advice, I'm only trying to school you. Smiling faces sometimes. Hey, don't tell the truth. Smiling faces tell lies, and I got proof. Smiling faces sometimes.
Dead presidents. So go ahead, tell Smiling Faces. Did y'all know that was gonna be the song?
And who wrote that and how did it-
That's what Norman said when he came and presented it to us. He said, "I have your hit record."
No,
Just
he
like
didn't.
that.
No,
Yes,
he didn't.
And when I first heard the track, the strings and horns weren't on it. But when I first heard the rhythm track, I couldn't figure out what I was going to sing after listening to Eddie Kendricks and them do their version of Smiling Faces. I was like, this ain't Smiling Faces.
Yeah.
He said, I told you not to listen to that. You know.
I didn't listen. Me and Billy, I don't think we listened.
No, but y'all sat there and watched me get beat up.
Hey, somebody
Took
had
me
to get
3.5
beat up.
hours to sing the very first two words. Smiling 3 hours.
Wow. Because you had to have that.
He had to
You know
have
his
that.
favorite word was?
What?
Yeah.
One more.
Sure was.
All
One more.
night.
Oh my
4 o'clock in
God.
the
You could do
morning.
the same way
One more.
1,000 times. He say one more.
Yeah, but he would never quit on me.
Never quit.
No.
He'd go to sleep.
Brilliant. He was
He sit up.
brilliant. Yeah. He was brilliant. Seriously.
Yeah.
That was brilliant, though.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed.
So what after Smiling Faces, what happened to the group? Well, no, not that. Give me some of the ideas. Now you all did your own costumes, but like what I mean, did you see somebody else doing it, or was this prior? I thought this was.
The painted faces.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
got that from Kiss.
Okay.
And Kiss was just painted faces, blue jeans,
Mm-hmm.
long hair.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the painted faces, and everybody made up their
Space
own painted
costume.
face.
Okay.
Right.
I had a silver and gold.
And put the white afros on top.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
And
made
then
it.
they came
That's
to
a
the
tight picture, y'all.
Starwood. They came to the
That's fine
Starwood to
picture,
see our show because
Mm-hmm.
we had the futuristic
Concept.
outfits.
Right.
Out there,
Concept.
yeah.
Right.
And then they went back into Hollywood, and after that, they had all,
Same
they
thing.
just made us look
How
like
did the
a
crowd
show.
Platform
receive?
shoes.
Yeah. How did
Oh,
the
yeah.
crowd receive that since
Loved
it was
it.
so different? I guess maybe it wasn't that different. but-
If you
Dressed
came
like
to,
us.
we opened on the Starwood on a Friday night.
Uh-huh.
They start sitting at there after the club
real.
closed on Thursday night, all the way till Friday night to
Yeah,
get
to
in.
Sunday.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
We got the record.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was
So
amazing.
would we say that the Funkadelic kind of
Yeah,
came
but
out?
we well, we personally, Doc and I and Lil Ty, we were personally, around those guys a lot.
That's
Right.
right, when the
You know.
funk was born.
So
Right.
we tried to add, we brought those kind of influence, but
Right.
Norman musically tried to fuse it so that it had a separation line, but the funk was there.
Right.
Oh,
That's
yes.
right. That's
Yeah,
why I
funk
told
was
you to
there.
listen to UFO.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Oh, yeah.
I got you.
That's the
Unidentified
funk.
objects in the sky.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see any UFOs at Belle Isle?
No.
No. You must have been high that night.
That's the same thing I
That's
said.
not my story. That wasn't my story.
I just talked to
I
him the
saw
other day.
something,
That
but it
was
wasn't
Michael Henderson.
Never
UFOs.
heard that story.
Hey,
That's
Michael-
a good one.
That's
Go
how
listen
Michael
to-
Henderson wrote "You Are My Starship."
Go listen to our
You're
show.
not gonna. Okay.
Go back and listen to Michael
Where was
Henderson's
he
show.
on?
Wow.
That's what everybody says. Ray Parker's. Everybody's like, I don't
he was
know.
hanging with. I know he was doing wide receiver. He was with the Funkadelic right there. So
Right.
he made something.
So we always ask our
When I
Detroit
saw
folks, did you
something.
ever see any UFOs out there?
Yeah, we saw something. Every night.
Right. Clean some seeds. You gotta clean the seeds off. You gotta clean the seeds to see them now. You know that.
Doc, speak for yourself.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's
You said
exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm too
So
young to know
y'all,
about that.
y'all traveled all over the world and performed. Who was the favorite concert or tour y'all were with? Who was kind of like the favorite?
Jackson 5,
Jackson
Oh,
5.
wow. You guys
Y'all opened up for the Jackson 5.
when nobody else could.
Wow.
here.
What do you mean by nobody else could?
We went and saw a couple of shows. Norman and I went and saw a couple of shows with a couple of other acts opening for them. And when they came on, all they did, we want the Jackson 5. We want the
Right,
Jackson
right,
5.
right.
Wow.
And just think, while you singing,
Yeah.
they're gonna be persistent. They wouldn't
Right.
stop. One of the guys would come down there and say, "Please,
Yeah.
I mean, we trying to bring you a good show, and these guys giving us the warm up to give us that. You please be appreciated." And then they let them sing. But until that happened, we want the Jackson 5. We want the Jackson 5. I mean, it was horrible. Norman say, "How you gonna get around that?" I was like,
Face paint,
"You see that
white
little,
afros.
You see that little band they got there? Wait till I bring mine." I brought Robert Ward from the Ohio Untouchables.
Oh, wow.
I had Leroy Taylor from New Birth, Nightlighters.
Right. That's
I had-
why you think I'm playing in the background. Come on, baby. Come on. We doing our homework. They ain't playing just for the hell of it.
When Wawa,
Wawa Watson.
Wawa Watson.
Man, give a shout out
That's
to
his like
Wawa.
buddy now.
Wawa, we hanging
Wawa
out with you,
Watson.
Wawa. You
Tell-
ain't called
we've
me
been
so
trying-
many
I
times.
got his number.
I remember you.
Call him.
And we've been trying to get. I'm gonna call him.
Wawa cusses him out all the time when they talk. I guess he likes
Oh
him.
yeah, well, that's Wawa. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I gotta get cussed out, and I gotta come over his house before he comes
Oh,
on
you
the
gonna
show.
be mad and say, "Why you got them on there? And you ain't got me on there?"
You see?
Wawa
Yeah.
recorded on every Undisputed Truth record till
Oh, really?
today.
Okay.
Wow.
To the ones we're
We
doing
did-
today.
Really? All right. We got to shout out Wawa.
Yeah, shower.
Get down here, Wawa.
Man, this is great. So after that, so y'all said, Michael, how about the favorite place to travel? I mean, y'all, I know y'all did it all. Give me
I
one
liked
of travel.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Give me a story. Y'all know we
Oh,
want a
wow.
story. You know we want a story before we go
Hawaii,
on the break.
we was finishing the tour with a pocket full of money, so everybody liked Hawaii.
I want to go back to what you were saying. One of the
It
favorite
was nice.
shows
It was nice.
Okay.
And then
was
well, you
Santana.
Know, well, you know the fact that the Daddy Joe, he was very strict on the boys, and I appreciated him. Totally, I understood where he was coming from, but he gave a little leeway with us with with the Jacksons. We went to a show. And Michael, he liked older women, so he said, "Dad, can I sit by Brenda?" And at the show, and his dad said, "Yeah." Well, he had a little crush on me. It was cute.
He rubbed your leg. I know he was like rubbing your leg, like, how you doing?
He was cougering.
He liked older
You was
women.
cougering.
Well, no, I wasn't cougering. I didn't say I liked him. He liked me. But anyway, we got to enjoy them on a personal level, and then we went to a party. His dad let them go to a party that we went to, but they always had to have permission, and I wasn't the type that would go out anyway. I pretty much stayed in the hotel, most of the time. That's where I was after. If I wasn't on that stage, I was in my hotel room. So I basically didn't go out that much. But what I'm saying is his dad started feeling comfortable with us, with his children, and he kind of gave them some leeway with us.
That was Randy's first tour.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but it was cool. The whole thing was
so,
cool.
excuse me, once Doc, he wanted to get Santana. What was you going to talk about?
You remember the Capitol when we went to the Capitol Center with Santana and Isley Brothers?
Oh, okay.
And us.
That
He
was
said us.
Yeah, that was a big concert.
Yeah.
And all them Isley Brothers, Santana, it was all in our dressing room.
Wow.
Because people like to see us make that transformation.
Putting the makeup on.
Yeah, putting the makeup on and go. Because it wasn't just the makeup, it was the whole attitude.
Yeah.
Whole attitude change,
Then you be like, puff pass while you put the makeup on and stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
and that was a great show.
What did you guys, as soul singers, like you guys all started out as soul singers.
Yes.
How was the transition vocally for you, disco?
Yep.
How was that transition?
Because it's like kind of
Let
doo-wop,
me say that. Let me say this. If you were working with Norman Whitfield, any of those transitions wouldn't have been hard at all. Because he came knowing what he wanted you to do.
He was bringing
he'd give you an opportunity to feel your way into it, or he didn't want you to sing to him. He'd tell you, "Don't sing to me." Say it right, it'll sing itself. Because my track is gonna make this hit.
Hey.
So once you bought into the music, then you found what character that you would want to be able to tell your story with. Transition from concepts and things with Norman Whitfield, because he was creative. He wanted to be a singer very badly. And that's why he would get me to use a lot of different voices, because he would hear him like that. He would giving me his interpretation, and I just take it and just roll them up.
Now, what song was not a hit that you felt, when you heard it, you said this is going to be a hit, and it did nothing?
Showtime.
Okay. I couldn't find it either, I understand.
That was the last album.
Right, I couldn't find it. I'm just messing with you.
He
said, "Ooh."
Mine was Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Really?
Yeah, because
I thought that.
Yeah, Norman, and I bless his heart, I understand what he was doing. When he would hear a song, and when you hear 2 and 3 and 4 people do it, every time it got better and better and better.
That's true.
You see, so I'm thinking, ooh, our Papa was a Rolling Stone is just absolutely fantastic. But in his head, when he added all of that orchestra and the special effects, it was like when the Temps, when the Temps got to it, it was like, oh my goodness, did they not get a Grammy on our song?
Now what is that? Now what is that like? We asked another artist that. What is it like when you record a song? Yeah, Alfie Silas, and you hear, and to you it's a hit, and then somebody else takes it and it blows up.
I did it the wrong way.
Well, no.
I should have did it like they did it.
No, that's
I
you.
mean, listen.
That's you.
Listen.
How do you?
Somebody in the Temptations had that same attitude about us. How we going? What do we look? What do we look like doing an album after a song after the Undisputed Truth when they get a gold record and a Grammy
Right.
for singing a cover of ours?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a man up above, and when he shows you what he can do, so
Yeah.
you never know in this business where your hit record gonna come from.
That's right.
And with Norman Whitfield, every time you go in the studio, that's what you're trying to get.
Yeah. Right.
You don't want, I don't want no song. I don't want you singing to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me,
right.
brother. Talk to me.
Well, in terms of Norm, I actually was consulted. They were working on a play about his life. I don't know if it was a couple years ago.
They was working on a play starring me that I didn't tell them nothing about the story of how we put Rose Rush together, and anybody that told them anything there about whatever happens was not there.
Right.
They couldn't call me until they were releasing it, and they wanted me to come just to sanction something that about me. Barry Gordy told me around that particular time, he said, what you guys in Whitfield did when you left Motown, he said, a lot of black record companies, y'all had a short run. He said, but you were one of the last three of the black record companies standing.
Right.
Yep. He said, and what Norman did, Norman came in getting a Academy Award nomination with Car Wash,
right.
with the whole production.
Yeah.
He's saying that don't happen. He said, I had all the Motown, and we couldn't do that. We did a lot of films, and we got lucky with Lady Sings the Blues, and got a nomination. He said, but what you guys did at Whitfield Records, he said, you have to understand and realize that if you don't tell that story, somebody gonna tell it and write you in it. Right. And that's what they did, because they didn't. I knew that they had some of it because they had Wawa there, and we knew what was going on. I was like, well, how they gonna tell that story? And they're calling me, so because if you got Wawa there, you paying him.
Right.
That's right.
And I was saying, well, if I'm gonna be a consultant and they got backers for this story and they want me to tell it, then let's talk.
Yeah.
So then nobody called me, but then when they figured they had it down pat, and Wawa had the music down, so they had all the other things going on, and I wasn't there. I wasn't consulted, so I felt like it wasn't important.
That's right.
There you go. Getting here on We Love Rare Grooves, man. We in the house with Undisputed Truth over here. We got B.J. Evans, Joe Pep Harris, B. McDonald, and Doc. That's right, Kelvin Doc Stevenson here of Undisputed Truth. So as we continue on with our show on We Love Rare Grooves, give us a call, 323-524-2599. And you're going to take me away to Wings Limousine, where you ride like a star, and the International Society of Black Latinos. We're going to come back and tell you about their gala, and then we're going to get into some more music from Undisputed Truth.
Welcome to Wings Limousine, where we get it right on the first time and create the magic in your night. The owner of Wings Limousine, Deborah Leggins, established her company of solid principles, bring service with a smile and laughter.
I drive people around from girls' night out, weddings, airport pickups, quinceañeras, you name it, that's what I do.
She has received several awards from the Better Business Bureau, from the mayor's office, as well as the governor. She escorted several celebrities to red carpet events and has served as the official transportation company of the Sparks and the Clippers. Beyond Wings' fleet of luxury cars, Wings also has special party buses to Vegas or a more intimate ride using our one-of-a-kind Mercedes Sprinter. And if your company wants to brand their name on our vehicles, we also offer wrapping. Remember just one, the name you can trust for superior service. Wings Limousine. Call now for reservations. Welcome to Wings Limousine, where we get it right on the
right. Make the magic last for more than just one night.
We could just get to it.
I know we could break through it just once.
That's how we do it.
Wow.
We
Gwe.
Hey, give them a call, 323-299-4947. That's right. Load down their app today and get 20% off. Tell them you've seen it on We Love Rare Grooves. Now, also, we're coming on with the IS.
She liked that one. That was for you, BJ. That was for you. Let it all in, girl. Let it all in. Just let it all. There we go.
She was so quiet. She was so quiet the whole show until we started singing. We got a fan.
Right.
We got a fan.
You do.
It takes hope.
It takes a nerve to do that.
Yeah.
Pretty good, too.
And no sense either. So,
Reggie, I didn't know you could sing. Now I'll put you on the mic when we run.
Hold on, 1 second. I gotta get a pace on. International Society of Black Latinos are coming up with their African Latino journey through the Americans in the Caribbean. They're coming up with their event. They're coming up 1943 African Cuban Jazz in Bates, New York. It's going to be held at the Sunday, October 14th at the Calenda La Brea, 831 South La Brea Avenue. That's right here in Los Angeles. This gala celebrates the legacy of Afro-Latino heritage, spotlighting cultural traditions through music, art, and dance. Their past year's gala honored community leaders and present scholarship to deserving youth. So we got to go out and support that. It's coming up October 14th. The founder, Juanito Palacio Sims, is the founder of the ISBL. It's a 501c3 established to help the academic and the character building self-awareness and social acceptance and leadership development. That's right, the International Black Latino Society Gala. So we're going to be there in the front row. Right, that's a mouthful. I forgot to go ahead and put the music they wanted me to play behind it. But we got y'all next week, though. All right? So get your tickets. Go to the International Society of Black Latino site and get your tickets today. And now, back here on We Love Rare Grooves. Oh, guess who you can give a call to? Faye Bernard. 323-244-1727. Y'all know Faye Bernard.
No.
Faye.
Gregory Steve.
Oh.
That's his name?
Yeah, that's his
his
wife.
wife. Oh,
Oh, she
That's
didn't
Mama
put. She
Faye.
right.
She didn't put her mate. I didn't know.
Wow.
I didn't know.
So back to the show. We're gonna have some fun here because we can't do six. We can't do
Too many of them.
You could do one at a
we
time.
can do it with Doc. No, he would
Do
be
it with Doc. No, do it one at a time. We'll come back and do it. We'll come back. We'll come back and do it. Then we gotta do your top 5, and then we're gonna talk about the new music because y'all got new music out here. You know, Undisputed Truth got new music. So where you at, DJ DeVoe? We can ready to go into a little bit. Give me some Louis, man. Just go ahead. Give me some Louis, man. Louis. Boy, y'all put the soul in Louis, boy.
She was black as the night. Louis was whiter than the white. Danger, danger when you taste brown sugar. Louis fell in love overnight. Nothing bad, it was good. Louis had the best girl he could, yeah. When she took him home to meet her mama and papa, Louis knew just where he stood, yeah, yeah. Louis, yeah. Louis, you're gonna cry.
The first time I laid eyes on you, I knew I had to have you, girl, for myself. You see, the sun started to shine in my mind. My heart felt light, like a bird in flight, soaring across the blue skies. Now I'm standing in a crowd, feeling all alone, 'cause you're gone. I never really knew why you left. I did my best, but I must have failed you somewhere. Sunshine, I need my sunshine. Well, since you went away, I haven't seen the light of day.
I wanna know who said that a man ain't supposed to cry. Tell me why. Are his feelings not real? Must they always be concealed? My tear-filled eyes search the streets desperately, hoping and praying that you'll be home soon, sunshine. Girl, I really got it bad, I swear. The room, the bed where you used to lay your head is empty. There's nothing left, nothing but your memory. I need you so. Take my hand. Don't tell strangers passing by. If I don't brag or boast, click my glass and say a toast. About my love for you, how it runs so deep and true. And yet it's so. Of their days, time marches sunshine and laughter. But don't forget you're gonna have to shed some tears. Let me tell you that you can't change it. Can't you see? Can't you see? It's the law of the land. If you're able, you must play your cards on top of the table. When you gamble, you win or lose. In life, everybody's got to take some new. No, you can't change it.
All righty then.
Can't you see? Can't you see? It's the law of the land.
Break it down, break that down, like break that down, right there, break down, break that down, break that down, break that down, that's it, now, break that down, break that down, break that down, come on now, Undisputed Truth in the house, now break it down, let's talk about the law of the land. Come on, let's go. Love red juice. Come on. This is what I'm talking about. This
I
is
think
what
you got to hit the
music
store and buy some wine more often.
Right.
When you want the other guests.
Merlot.
Right.
Yeah.
Man. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't have to warm it up.
This is where good music. This is where great music
Yeah.
lives, and this is where the legends come. Thank you so much for
It's been our
joining us
pleasure.
tonight, man. Y'all always welcome back. Y'all part of the Groove Studio family right now.
That's right.
You know that? All right. Thank you, Miss
Family,
V, for putting it together.
Oh, and my pleasure, because I get to see all my homies again. I just met Brenda for the first
time? Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
So it was
Oh,
a
really?
pleasure. Yeah.
Wow.
And she was special because I
Yes.
kept saying, V, come on, tell you. She's like, I think they're coming in town, and I'm going to just wait.
Yeah.
And but you, so
Right.
V, you can come back.
Okay.
Joe, you can come back because I got individual stuff. We can
Yeah,
sit
because
there
V
and just-
split, honey.
Right.
We done found out that V done split the group.
Yeah, well, I
We
did a
got to
solo
find
thing.
out
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
So we got a couple things. We have some fun things that we do. We used to do Shantini in 60 seconds.
We can do that with Doc. I think he'll be a fun participant.
But we could go to each one, but it might not work fast enough.
Nah, it might not.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't
it
think
takes
so?
Can we
too
get
It'll
some
take too
Jeopardy
long?
music?
Yeah.
So
we're
you gonna do it
ask
with
you-
Doc? Unless
Yeah, I think
who
he'll.
wants to put their hands up? Who
No,
wants
I
to
want
do it?
Doc to do it.
You want
Yeah.
Doc to do it?
I'm volunteering Doc.
Yeah, we
Something
volunteer.
tell me this is going to be hilarious.
All right. Well,
So
listen
we're
to
going to
some-
do, I'm going to ask you a series of random questions. You have to answer them in 60 seconds or less.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, let Doc
You
do
ready?
that.
That'll work.
Okay. What was your first job?
My first job was a landscape gardener.
Your favorite song to perform?
Come on, the magic.
Together we shall overcome.
Name a lover gave you.
Say that again.
Name a lover gave you.
Name a lover that
Gave you.
Yeah, lover
Yes.
gave you when you was doing your thing. She said, "Oh, Big Daddy,
Oh wow.
Docky Poo."
There's so many
You only
big
got-
daddies.
Come on, give us something, Doc. You only got 60
You only got 60
seconds.
seconds.
I'm about to flunk.
Greatest piece of advice.
Let's go to church.
If you could record or produce a record for a celebrity that is deceased, who would it be?
Curtis Mayfield.
If you hadn't made a career in music, what would you have done instead?
Smoking weed.
Preach.
Preacher.
The song,
Amen.
the song or piece of advice that had the most impact on your life?
Smiling faces. Come on, just go ahead.
Happy days.
Name a lover gave you. Did you ever tell us?
Happy days.
I wasn't gonna come back to that question.
Oh, her name was Charnissa.
Is that what she called you?
Oh, you want to know what she called me? Oh,
she's not listening. Look at.
well, I'm not hearing that good. You know, I'm
What did
old.
she call you?
Oh, she called me
White Suit Daddy.
I don't know. She called me so many names.
Doctor.
It was more like, ow! Wasn't a whole lot of talking.
That's right. As we continue here on We Love Rare Grooves.
Tell it.
Oh my God! I
So,
can't even.
What? So since we went there, taking it back to, what's one of the things that's changed in the music industry of how they do music? You know how we did it then to how they doing it now.
They're copying.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all went straight on that one.
Sampling.
He didn't even let you finish that one. Get
But
out.
it's true though.
Yeah.
You know, no creativity. I mean, in other words, very, very good ingenuity. But I mean, with stuff that's already been
originality.
Okay.
You guys
Not
are not
creative.
flattered by that when you hear your stuff recopied?
No.
Sure. Okay.
Because it diminishes the whole creative process. I mean, you know,
There you go.
you're taking something that, you know,
was already made. And
Right.
and you just
It's helping sell records.
You just turning it around and
Putting it
you,
in the microwave and reheating it.
yeah,
Like Kanye
Right.
West, he just sampled our song. I know.
Yeah, and you get paid.
from our group in Fade.
Right.
Oh wow.
I can feel it fade.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Did y'all get y'all
That's
It's
receipts?
part us and part Rare Earth.
Did you get your receipts?
It's coming.
all.
It's coming. It'll be here at the end of the month.
Okay.
Uh-oh, she said at the end
I
of the
always
month.
keep tabs on that.
Right.
You know, I have to keep
She
make
gonna
sure
check that bank account at the end of the month.
So-
Kanye.
Thank you.
So you guys have been doing music since,
Got enough of it, so.
4 or 5 decades, but man, they don't know that y'all doing new music. Talk
Well,
to
let's
me
tell
about,
them.
let's talk to me about some new music from
let's
Undisputed.
talk about 'em.
Talk about it.
shoot.
We're gonna play it, but talk. Go ahead.
Well, since nobody won't talk, I'll talk.
No, I'll say something. First of all, I am so proud of the sound that we have achieved with the 4 of us. It's 4 of us singing. The 2 original, Joe and I, and Daisy Love and Jackie G, has perfected the sound that I was looking for a whole bunch of years. And I'm just honored to be with this group. You know, I've sung with a whole bunch of folks, but I'm telling you, when I do background and I hear our different distinct voices come together, when we sing unison, it sounds like one person. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
You're never supposed to hear
Individual.
One
yeah,
person.
because it reminds me of being in a choir where you want to tell that soprano, "Well, you tone down."
Right.
Yep.
There's always that one loud soprano.
Yep.
Yeah, blend in, boo. But I don't have to do that with Jackie and Daisy. I don't have to do that. But then when we get ready to have our personality in singing harmonies, you can tell who's singing what note.
There you go.
You can tell.
Preach it.
And you know, Joe, I must say, Joe, I'm so proud of him as production. See, I knew he could sing, but I really didn't know he could produce. And I'm telling y'all, by him being with Norman, some of that rubbed off on him.
On all of us, yeah.
No, seriously,
Do
it
it
rubbed
again.
off on him because I'm gonna tell you something. When he first tried to tell me something to do, I was looking at him like, "Negro, please, don't be trying to tell me nothing." You know what I'm saying?
Wow, she gave you
But
nothing.
no, I'm a
This ain't
truthful
gonna hit
person.
records before me.
I'm a truthful person. So, but as I started submitting myself to what he was saying to me, I realized this man knows what he's talking about.
Go ahead, tell that story.
He knows
Yep.
what he's talking about.
So what's
and I'm going to have to respect him for his position up to date, which is he is a producer. He's not just a singer, y'all. He is a
producer extraordinaire.
Yes.
So what's the name of the new?
Hallelujah.
What's the name of the new release? What's up? Come on,
You can't run from yourself.
you can't run.
Yeah.
from
Show
yourself.
can. You can try.
Yeah.
So you want to like take us to it, tell the audience. So the name of it is
You Can't Run. Well, I think did they chop it down to You Can't Run?
You can't run from yourself.
Okay, so as You Can't Run from Yourself.
So this is it right here?
Yes.
Yeah. Released.
Norman Whitfield wrote this. Yeah.
Okay, so we're hearing it first here. This is
Yeah,
the first
this is-
time it's ever been released here?
Yes.
First time here
Yes.
on We Love Red
Yes,
Groove.
baby boy.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
What's the sense in running? You can't get away. Go back to bed, pull the covers over your head. That'll make your problems go away. Tell me why do you try to hide in the bottle? Since when has drinking helped your thinking? Think about it. Well, you can't run from yourself. Is there impossibility? No. You can't run from yourself. Face up to reality. You do not like who you are. Did I hear you say you wish you were a star? Well, stars have problems too. Yes, they do. The same as me and you. So climb into your smoke. And when the air clears, your problems will still be there. So remember, you can't run from yourself. Is there impossibility? Oh no, you can't run from yourself. Face up to reality. This is your life and time. Why must you be blind? Stop taking all those unprescribed pills. They can't cure none of your ills. One pill takes you up. Where are you going? And another pill brings you down. Down all the way. Don't you think it's time, my friend? Don't you think it's time, my friend? To get off this merry-go-round. So remember, you can't run from yourself. Is there impossibility? Oh no, you can't run from yourself. Face up to reality. You can't run. You can't run. You can't run. Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't run from yourself.
Running Hood.
Man.
I was up on top of my roof. And,
Y'all look awfully young in that
V,
picture.
we're back.
I see.
We're back, V. I don't know where you were listening to your new. So you heard the new release. You can't
Yeah.
run
From yourself.
from yourself.
Yourself.
You heard it first here on We Love Red Groove. So our listening audience all over the globe enjoy that from Undisputed Truth. How do people stay in touch? What's all this social media for you guys?
Well, we're on Facebook.
A little closer, Joe, so they can hear
We're
you.
on Facebook. We're going to the other medias, but we have a website. It's called The Real Undisputed Truth. anything. You can get any information, music, pictures, all that stuff right there on that line.
Okay.
Are you guys performing anywhere
You got any
coming
performances coming up?
No,
No.
we're working on something now.
Y'all working on a tour? Or y'all working?
Yes.
But what I want to state is, as far as our website, you have to definitely say the real, because people just put in the Undisputed Truth, and you're going to get Mike Tyson's
Oh yeah,
page.
right.
So it's the real Undisputed Truth.
We had to
Well,
give him permission.
could you
We didn't know
imagine?
we was gonna cross phase.
So y'all looking to get back on the road?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got if y'all want to talk after this guy I know named Big Red Production.
Oh, he's booking. He's booking.
Big Red.
It's bookie. That's the bookie.
9 to 5. So
That-
Big
that-
Red.
that- that-
As long as we can get paid.
Well,
Yeah.
all I can think of was that Big Red. What was that movie?
5 heartbeats. That's me.
That's him right there.
Me.
5 Heartbeats.
That's me right there. But no, I would love to work with you, and hey, people.
You
picking up.
do favor them, except for you're just a little taller.
And no hair. And no hair.
Hey, how y'all enjoy the show?
It was great.
It was wonderful.
Y'all did?
Wonderful. Yeah,
Thank you.
yes.
I had a good time.
I'm sorry it
Appreciate
took so
it, man.
I
long,
had a
but
good
it was
time.
worth
No,
It was
you know
worth
what?
the wait.
It was worth it,
Worth
though.
the wait.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
worth the wait.
It's all timing. It was time.
We didn't have but one bottle of wine though.
Y'all had
Yeah, you know,
one.
I can drink a bottle by myself.
I had
You
some
and me
Wilson.
both.
Hey, but
So we
See, at
know.
home, I buy the big bottle.
You got to
You
put your.
get a bottle of
I'm
peace.
just glad I don't have
So you.
But it's okay.
hey, now what y'all think about the show? Tell me, we did a good job. I mean, let
You did a wonderful job. Fantastic.
You guys enjoyed
You feel
yourself,
like you're
right?
sitting in someone's home. Just
Yeah.
having
That's
fun.
how we do it. That's how we do it.
Personalities that are
Right.
great to be
It's
with.
very
That's
Yeah, and all y'all
Very
great.
comfortable.
No pressure.
You know, I just,
Right.
you know.
And you're funny.
Right.
And I love the singing moment.
Thank you.
Right. That's that was her favorite. Right. It was.
That woke her up. Thank you.
Right. No, I
Stardom.
wasn't asleep.
Great
But I'm just cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, and I like watching my man because his hair go.
He's learned so much from us.
Hey, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
in. It's
for
been an
having us.
honor, and
We
got,
know you guys
got,
have so many awards, right?
right. Got awards. You got awards.
Hal
last
Awards
night,
you just
Hal
got.
Award. But
Thank
you
you very
guys
much.
took the time, and it means so much for you to take the time to come to the Groove Studios. And so, what we do for our folks to come to the Groove Studio, we give them pass that down to
A
Miss
joint.
BJ. That's right. Y'all suitcase gonna
No,
be
it's
kinda
not a
heavy.
joint.
That's right. Oh, you said it. No, he didn't.
thought it was a
Mr.
joint.
Joe,
You know what? This
Mr.
is too
Joe,
precious. Seriously.
Miss
Oh,
V.
my God.
You
Miss
cannot
V,
use
that's
them
right.
as a paperweight, Doc.
Oh, this
You
is
have to put it
nice.
up on your shelf.
All righty.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
And it, listen, and it has our names on it.
Yes.
Oh my
I
God.
feel like James Brown.
Oh, this is nice.
Thank you very, very
I would like to
much.
thank my
Yeah.
mom for bringing me in the world.
That's right.
And I thank God for just letting me have this moment. This is so wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you
indeed.
guys so much. That's what it means to us. We do the show out of the goodness of our
This is
heart, and this
wonderful.
show is about what you all have done in the music industry, and this
Wow.
is another way to put it out there in the cloud, because that's where it's going to be now. It's going to be on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, also on UBNradio.com for the replays, and also YouTube.
Yes,
Anyone-
it's going to be on our YouTube channel.
Right.
Just give us a couple days. You can watch it
Pull
back.
up on
And
YouTube.
also-
Yeah,
Right.
they'll see this
So-
show.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's
But you
Right.
A
know,
lot of hits.
yeah.
So that's why we wanted to do the music and let people know
Yes.
the little thing, everything about Undisputed Truth, and we're still
appreciate
going,
that.
and we still going,
Yeah.
because we're gonna do something with Big Red. Hey, it's all about.
Serious, aren't you?
He's dead serious. He's not kidding you. He's been working with what's his name?
Right, called who? Called Art LeBeau. Art LeBeau get right.
He about to put him out of business.
No, when Art go, I'm
Okay, well, you know
come. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When Art, because I appreciate Art. He done a
Sucking up
lot.
all the juice, and we need to spread it out.
Right.
Something meant for a man needs to expand.
Okay,
Exactly.
let's do this. But we want to thank our listening audience all over the globe. We're glad to be back. Hey, we got a great October for you coming up in October. Who we got? Y'all know who
Besides
we got?
my birthday, who else?
Besides your birthday, we got coming on. Johnny Britt coming back. So Hot. He got a new CD release. So
Right.
he's coming back.
we got Wawa Watson coming.
We got
Wow.
Wawa Watson
Right.
coming. We got B Sled.
B
B
Slade.
Slade.
Formerly known as Tone.
Right, Tone. We got him.
And Niecy's coming on, right?
Right, Niecy
Oh,
from
Niecy
like
Williams,
you know how I stalked you. You know how I stalking her
Denise
last
Williams.
You know how I stalked you. I stalked y'all
He
last
did
night.
that with Valerie Simpson last time. Oh yeah. Took her up to her room and everything.
Really nice.
Go ahead, give me a shout out. Go ahead.
I want to shout out to the new Magic Tones coming up.
Okay. All right.
My wife and my 2 daughters.
All right.
That's the new group.
Hey, Pretty Tony, we
Oh,
came.
happy birthday to
we came
Colleen
back.
Jenkins. Happy birthday, Colleen.
Happy birthday,
Our
Colleen.
number
Happy
one
birthday.
fan. Happy birthday.
And
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to see my mom. Her birthday this week, so I'll be in
Aw.
Pittsburgh. But I'll make it back for the show next Monday.
Wonderful.
Because we got. I think Larry said he wanted to come on, and I was talking to after the 7. So I don't know. Somebody's coming on.
You should make your layover in Detroit and go look around a little bit.
Okay. All right. Hey, Pretty Tony, I
Since he's never
apologize. I apologize. We ran like I told you we were going to be on time, and
Yeah.
we ran late.
Yeah.
So,
Follow us
listen.
on our iHeartRadio. We have our own channel, guys. We love Rare Grooves, so you can catch all of the shows since we've been here at this station. If you listen to it in your car, you can just put it on and play it. This show will be back 2 days on YouTube, so you guys can watch it back for yourself.
Okay, good.
We'll
That's
send you
what's
the
up.
link, and
As
that's
we
it.
do here on y'all
Oh,
on
thank
3.
you so much.
We
1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
We love Rare Grooves.
Good night.
Hey, good night. Hey, y'all want to give us a drop?
And I got yes, sir.
I know Tony. You like now he asking.